Okay, any concerns or any issues related to virtual machines and high availability? Okay, so now assume it I have a machine. Okay, I have an application. I hosted an web application on the machine. So when I host an application on that, earlier the users was assuming just 1000 users hitting that application. When 1000 users hitting that application, it is working fine. Then your application went viral, and day by day the hits is increasing. It's increasing the application hits. So what will be happen? So basically, when you treat as a server, there is an what is called there is an request called concurrent limit. There is a terminology called concurrent limit. So what do you mean by the concurrent limit? The concurrent limit is nothing but that is the capacity of the server, maximum 5000 users. That is the concurrent limit of one server. When your hits, when your users hitting your application, increasing a daily basis on a day to day, when you reach your concurrent limit, your performance of the application will be slowed down. So what will be happen? See, when you reach your maximum limitation of the concurrent limit, what kind of issues you would get it? Basically, if you talk in a layman term, what will be the daily issues you will face? Let's assume that they forget about the concurrent limit. So if application facing more hits, what will be happen? Okay, server slow.
IO problem.
IO problem. First, using IO, first we face application slowness, not a server, application slow. I mean to say application performance issue. Then
CPU spike will be going on.
okay, IO problem. Then your application will go to the hang state. Okay, CPU hike. Then application go to the hang state. Then still it is happening. What will be happening?
Sometimes the server will shut down.
Okay. Before the application will be crash. Then server will be crash. These are all the issues. You might face these are all the issues. You never know that what is the users, how many users going to hit your application today. Let's take an example. Input and output. I mean to say the transaction will be very slow. Let's take an Amazon. Okay. Today you have an deals at 12 o'clock. 12 p.m. We have deals at 12 p.m. with Amazon. Do you know how many users going to hit your application at the same time or throughout the day? Do you have any predictions for that? No idea. Then how do you manage your application availability? In earlier days, if you look at that IRCTC application, what will be happen IRCTC? So when it starts with what's called Tatkal, what will happen when you open the application at 10 o'clock? Everyone used to hit the same time at the 10 o'clock. Your application will be very slow. So sometime it's worked for until you book the ticket. When you go to the payment gateway, your application go to the hub, right? So these are all the issues. How do you overcome all these issues? See, at the same time, when you are using the IRCTC, when you compare with the Amazon, Amazon has never faced this kind of issues earlier. So what would be the issue with IRCTC? How the Amazon application overcome all these kind of issues? More? Okay. More servers running the same application on more servers. Okay.
Memory we need to auto scaling.
Okay, even if you increase the memory, the server concurrent limit is 5000 only, right? Then load balancer using load balancer you can manage all these kind of issues. Okay, so coming to the load balancer. So as of now, let's talk about load balancer. Then how do you know that how many machines do you need? So load balancer is the solution to manage your application and to overcome all these issues. Then how do you know that how many machines do you need? So you can distribute the load into the multiple machines which is the same application which is deployed in the multiple machines. That is fine. Okay. So the new trend is machine learning. Using machine learning, you can scale up to your applications or servers n number of machines based on the request using the TensorFlow. TensorFlow is the mechanism as part of machine learning. This is the next level. This is the next level. So, ఎందుకు అమెజాన్ అప్లికేషన్ ఎంతమంది హిట్ చేసినా కూడా it never goes down. You never face any kind of a performance issue. Even though if your application behind the load balancer, sometimes you could face the issue. Assume that I have 5 machines like this. So what is the maximum concurrent limit for the 5 machines? 25,000. So you cannot assume that how many users is going to hit your application. So if all of sudden 27,000 users hit your application today. So again you need to add more machines. So there is a manual task. So to avoid that, we can manage this in the machine learning. The mechanism is called TensorFlow. That is the tool where you can able to manage all these kind of requests. Automatically scale up your machines unlimitedly. When the request will go down, automatically it will reduce. This will be happen using this machine learning. The Amazon mechanism and the Amazon application backend mechanism working with this machine learning. This is the mandatory. This is the very basic thing. The load balancer is a very basic thing. You need to have this. To auto scale of your servers and applications, you must have this. That is the next level. Okay. So now, let's see that what Azure Load Balancer does exactly for in this scenario. Clear so far? How do you overcome all these issues? Now, Azure Load Balancer. So what any load balancer does the same thing. There is no issues with that. Coming to the Azure Load Balancer, we have multiple types of the load balancer. Okay, we will discuss on one by one slowly. Now, Azure Load Balancer is works on OSI level 4. What is OSI level 4? Level 4 అంటే ఏంటి? Network. What is the layer 4 in the network terminology? That is the network layer. Hmm? 3 layer ఏంటి? VPN goes with 3 layer. VPN traffic goes over the layer 3. Load balancer works on layer 4. That is the network layer. VPN layer 3 ఏంటి? Transport layer. Layer 4 is the network layer. అవి చూడండి ఒకసారి, అవన్నీ వెరీ బేసిక్స్. నేను డే 1 నుంచి అదే చెప్తున్నాను. నెట్వర్క్ ఈజ్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. యూ హ్యావ్ టు నో అట్లీస్ట్ బేసిక్స్. This is the firing sequence. Layer 3, network layer 3, transport layer 4. This is the firing sequence. Physical layer, data layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer and application layer. Top to bottom is the firing sequence. It's very simple. Receiver and sender. When you receive the traffic, it goes from top to bottom. When you send the request, it goes to application to the bottom. ఇది చాలా మ్యాండేటరీ. మీరు నెట్వర్క్ లో ఈ లేయర్ మీరు ఎప్పటికీ గుర్తు పెట్టుకోవాలి. ఎందుకంటే బేస్డ్ ఆన్ దిస్ ఓన్లీ యూ హ్యావ్ టు డూ ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్స్. ఇన్ ద బ్యాక్ ఎండ్ లో మీకు ఎక్కడ కనపడదు ఇది. ద నెట్వర్క్ ఫ్లో గోస్ యూజింగ్ దిస్ మోడల్ ఓన్లీ. You have to remember this. Okay. Whereas coming to load balancer, the traffic goes over layer 4. So basically, the Azure load balancer works on round robin methodology. What do you mean by round robin? The round robin method is nothing but, let's assume that you are sending the request from where you are getting the request for your application through application request under default there is a public IP. Why? Because your application always into the public. Okay. VM1, VM2, VM3, VM4, likewise. One request goes to virtual machine 1, another request goes to VM2, another request goes to, I mean to say, third request, third user, fourth user. So when coming to the 7th user, again it goes to the VM1. You mean to say the request goes to round robin method one by one. First request goes to first machine, second request goes to second machine, like that. It continuously rotates. If this VM is not available, if this VM is not available, it will wait for some time here based on the health probe which we provide. Based on the health probe which we provide. The health probe is nothing but how much time I should wait at here. sometimes if you remember మీకు ఒక 5 seconds 10 seconds వరకు పేజ్ ఓపెన్ అవ్వదు. It will take some time. All of a sudden you will get the page will be open. At what time? It will go and check the first machine. It will wait for 5 seconds for the request. If the request is don't get, then it will go to the next available machine. Next available. But due to some virtual machine issues or application issues, maybe the particular virtual machine has reached the concurrent limit. Maybe the virtual machine may be shut down. These are all the issues. It will wait for 5 seconds, then it goes to the next available machine. Then you will get the request. Likewise, it will continuously rotate until it get the request. This is called a round robin method. Any load balancer follows the same methodology. Any load balancer. Clear? Any load balancer works using the same methodology. Okay. This is the one. So Azure Load Balancer operates at layer 4 technology, which distributes your request into the backend pools. What are the backend pools? Until you will get the request from the internet and it will distribute into the backend pools. Backend pool is nothing but your machines. Your machines are called as a backend pools. The backend pool is nothing but in the backend pool, your all the associated machines will be available. Okay, right now. We have to provide your health probe. Until unless Azure load balancer doesn't know how much time it should wait, you have to give it the health probe. So based on your provided health probe, it will wait for the application for the some time, then it goes to the next available machine. So in a real time, let's assume that you have 20 machines behind the load balancer. Maybe one machine has rebooted at the time. Okay. So maybe you have some issues with your application at that particular machine. Alantapur, it will go and wait for some time, then it goes to the next machine. Okay. So using Azure Load Balancer, so load balancing lekunda a interview undadu, whether it may be DevOps, whether it may be infra, whether it may be you came from any background. Load balancer is mandatory. Load balancer మీద క్వశ్చన్ లేకుండా ఏ ఇంటర్వ్యూ కూడా ఉండదు. It is a very, very, very important concept. Okay. So Azure Load Balancer, using Azure Load Balancer, you can scale your application and create high availability for your service, in which I will share this in a drive. You can go through with that content later. So if you understand this theory part, it will be very easy to explain in interviews if someone asks you. Okay. You can create high availability for your services. Azure Load Balancer operates at layer 4. Layer 4 of the OSI model. Azure Load Balancer supports inbound and outbound scenarios. What do you mean by inbound and what do you mean by outbound? The request which is coming from the internet, that is called a inbound. The request which is going from your application, it is a outbound. Azure Load Balancer supports both inbound and outbound. Azure Load Balancer supports inbound and outbound scenarios to provide low latency, high throughput and scale up the millions of the flows. And scale up the millions of the flows. What do you mean by flow? Flow is nothing but a traffic. To scale up to millions of the flows, millions of the requests, which you are getting the millions of the requests from the internet, that can be distributed into the multiple machines using the Azure load balancer mechanism called as a round robin method. Okay, millions of the flows for all TCP and UDP, for all TCP and UDP applications. Advantages. What is the advantages having this load balancer? Okay. Load balance incoming internet traffic. Load balancing incoming internet traffic to your virtual machines. To your virtual machines. This configuration called as public load balancer. You mean to say the traffic which is coming from the public IP which distributes into your machines called as a public load balancer.
Means inbound.
Inbound. Means that the traffic which is coming from the public IP, that is called a public load balancer. That is inbound traffic only. So there are multiple load balancer types again. The traffic which is coming from the public and it distributes into the multiple machines called as a public load balancer. So load balance traffic, load balancer traffic across machines inside the virtual network. And inside the virtual network, and you can also reach load balancer front end, from on-premises network. So we have already discussed these kind of scenarios earlier, if you remember. Elanti scenarios? Clear up to here, right? Okay. So assume that you have on-prem Azure, you have DB, any DB. Forget about not only SQL Server, it may be Oracle, it may be SQL, it may be MySQL, whatever it may be. This is the application. Okay. So basically what we call this? This scenario name
Cloud. Hybrid cloud.
Sorry?
Hybrid cloud.
Yes, this is called as a hybrid cloud. Your database is running on your on-premises called as a private cloud. Your applications hosted on Azure as a public cloud. The traffic which is distributing to your application to your DB in your on-premises is called a hybrid cloud, right? So in this scenario, how do you manage your load balance? Getting it or not? So when you say Azure load balancer, don't think that it only distributes the traffic and managing the load between the application and database which is hosted on Azure. It's completely wrong. Azure Load Balancer have the capability to distribute and manage the load balance between the on-premises and the cloud as called as a hybrid scenario. Getting it or not?
But performance will slow.
No. You never face any issue, any performance issue in hybrid scenario as well. So that completely depends upon your network, whether that is go for maximum using the site-to-site 1.25 GB or whether you go for express route. Obviously, when you use the production, we do go for express route. So there is no point of having the performance issue in this scenario. Clear? So now okay, this is the scenario. When your DB in on-premises, obviously what should be happen? The application go and check the DB and then get back to the request and give it to the end user. This is the hybrid scenario. Using Azure Load Balancer, this can be also possible. If someone asks you that, can we have this kind of a scenario with Azure Load Balancer? Say yes. Say yes. It can be possible with Azure Load Balancer. Clear? That is. So, and you can also reach a load balancer front end from an on-premises network in a hybrid scenario. And you can also reach a load balancer front end from front end is nothing but what is the front end? Your application is the front end. Your DB is the back end. Front end from on-premises network in a hybrid scenario. Both scenarios use the configuration. Both of the scenarios use the configuration that is known as internal load balancer. Internal load balancer. Okay. Right. Next important. Port forward traffic to the specific port. Port forward traffic to a specific port and a specific VM with inbound network address. With inbound network address translation, that is called a NAT, network address translation. Arthamainde what this statement does, what this statement is telling me? What do you understand? Port forward ante enti? Means manually you are routing the traffic to the specific virtual machine. How does it know that it's a specific VM? Using the port number which you refer. Let's assume that in a particular VM you have the multiple applications. You would like to hit only particular application of using this NAT by using the port to mention the particular port. Whether using 80 or 1433 or 443. Okay, you can mention that using the particular port that you can route into the particular machine. So round robin method like all the virtual machines untai, right? So when you want to hit the particular VM, you have to use the port using the NAT. NAT is nothing but network address translation. Manually you are routing the traffic to the particular VM using these NAT rules. Okay.
The port under 143 1434 any port to
See, very basic thing. 1433 for SQL. 4434 సో అసలు పోర్ట్స్ నెంబర్ ఏంటి ఐడియా ఉందా అందరికి RDP 3389 ఓకే ఓకే
Oracle 141521
1521
MySQL 3306
ఓకే
Express 5.32.
ఓకే ఇంకా
Web Server 8080
which web server Apache Apache is 8080 when you work with the web server as a Linux it is 8080
IIS
HTTP 80 HTTPS 443 FTP FTP also. What do you mean by FTP? File transfer. If you want to only transfer the files between, you must open this port. Else, it doesn't allow you to share your files. Okay, these are all the port numbers. This is the universal port numbers. But this is the predefined. But custom port numbers need to go on. You can define your own port number. That we will see later. So why do we need to have this custom port number? How it can be helpful for you and how you can secure your environment using the custom. Okay?
One port to another port forwarding is called protocol.
You are manually routing the traffic to the particular machine. How does you know that it's a particular machine using the port only? Machine is nothing but application, I mean to say. Using the port only. That is called a NAT, Network Address Translation. Okay. So now, so these are all your లేకుంటే రాసుకోండి ఎందుకంటే ఇవి చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ మీ త్రూ అవుట్ నెట్వర్క్ లో ఎప్పుడు ఇవి వర్క్ అవుతూనే ఉంటాయి హెల్ప్ అవుతూనే ఉంటాయి ఇంకా చాలా ఉంటాయి సో మీరు డైలీ బేసిస్ ఇవి సో దిస్ ఇస్ ద డిఫాల్ట్ వన్ మీరు రియల్ టైం లోకి వెళ్ళాక ఇవన్నీ ఎవడు వాడతారు మారుస్తాం కష్టం పట్టుకెళ్తాం బాయ్ Okay, clear. Now, let's talk about how Azure Load Balancer works. What is the backend mechanism? How does it works? So, Azure Load Balancer works on the base of 5 triple hash mechanism. The 5 triple hash is nothing but, let's assume that this is your machine. So this is the load balancer symbol, you have to remember this. source IP and port. When you request to the your request coming to the load balancer, the load balancer distribute your load on the mechanism of 5 tuple hash. What is this 5 tuple hash? Source IP, destination IP, source port, and protocol. This is the 5 tuple hash. So based on this source IP, destination IP, source port, destination port, protocol TCP or UDP, it will distribute into multiple machines. This is the backend mechanism of Azure load balancer. It had to find out what is the source IP. Source IP is nothing but what is the IP address associated with your application. What is the destination IP? What is the private IP address of your machine? What is the port number of your application? What is the protocol? Whether the traffic is coming from TCP or UDP. Mostly it is a TCP. Okay, it will take the request from the TCP and go into the particular port using the port of your application. It will go and hit your application. This is the 5 tuple hash mechanism in the back end to manage the load balance.
E5 verify this.
Based on this 5, E5 లేకపోతే Azure load balancer doesn't know it.
The technology.
Exactly. 5 tuple hash.
TCP control.
Network
layer protocols. So basically 2 protocols ఉంటాయి, TCP and UDP. UDP does not give you any, what I can say, UDP ఇప్పుడు ఎలా చెప్పాలి,
కాలేజీలో ల్యాన్ యూజ్ అవుతుంది.
అంతే.
It won't go to internet.
ఇంటర్నెట్ మాత్రమే UDP వాడతారు. TCP అనేది పబ్లిక్ పోర్ట్, త్రూ పబ్లిక్ నుంచి వచ్చే ట్రాఫిక్ అంతా TCP. ఇంకొకటి సో మనకి ఇక్కడ ప్రజెంట్ ఉన్నది 2నే వాడతాం, దట్టు TCPనే ఎక్కువ. సో UDP వాడితే you never get the response whether the traffic is success or not. Whether if it is a TCP, you will get the particular response whether your network is success or not. అంటే UDP వాడడం వల్ల you never know that whether your particular flow is success or not. That is the backdrop to that UDP.
We won't use.
We never use. So very rare cases. Why? Because when you refer to the application, it's always opens to the public. Then obviously we have to use the TCP. Clear? Now, right now. Azure load balancer use 5 tuple hash
Amazon కూడా అదే.
same load balancer works like Same scenario wherever you go, whether it is a normal load balancer or Azure load balancer, AWS load balancer works as the same mechanism.
Physical.
Physical load balancer also same. Even if you go for the reverse proxy as Nginx and all also కూడా same. Only load balancer round robin mechanism with the 5 triple hash. That is the default. అది లేకపోతే load balancer doesn't know it. Okay. So 5 triple hash composed of source IP, source port, destination IP, and destination port, destination IP, destination port, and IP protocol to available servers. Now load balancer are two types again. So whereas coming to the Azure load balancer are different types. When I refer to the Azure load balancer, there are two types again. Public and private. Internet or internal. మీరు ఎలా అయినా పిలవచ్చు, ఇట్ డజంట్ మ్యాటర్. పబ్లిక్ అంటే ఇంటర్నెట్, ప్రైవేట్ ఇన్ ద సెన్స్ ఇంటర్నల్. సో వీ హ్యావ్ two types of load balancer with that, internet and internal load balancer. What do you mean by internet load balancer?
It is globally. Anybody can access.
So I am referring load balancing. I am not referring access and all. I am particularly referring the load balancing. Very simple. TCP. Okay. Machine. And which one? If we have load balancer, ఈ సింబల్స్ అన్ని గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి. ఓకే, so it doesn't mean that AWS symbols will be the same. No, అవి చేంజ్ అవుతాయి. the internet load balancer. The traffic which is coming from the public IP and distribute into the multiple machines, that is called a internet load balancer. That is called a public load balancer. అంటే పబ్లిక్ ఐపీ ఎక్కడ ఉంటుంది అగైన్ అసోసియేటెడ్ విత్ యువర్ అప్లికేషన్. Any confusion? Once we do it as a practice at real time, we will get to know. I would say. Practical. That was. So, this scenario, can we apply this for a hybrid? Public load balancer works for a hybrid scenario. Why?
We can use that public to on-premises.
Hybrid scenario public load balancer ki suit avadu. Only internal load balancer. Why? Because the combination where the request coming to your IP, public IP address to your application, then it has to distribute to your on-premises DB. That is called a internal load balancer. Using the internal load balancer only it can be possible to implement hybrid scenario. Okay, right. Public load balancer.
Set చేయాలి.
కాన్ఫిగర్ చేయాలి. అది డిఫాల్ట్ కాదు, ఎందుకంటే ఎవరి రిక్వైర్మెంట్ వాడికి ఓన్ గా ఉంటుంది. సో హౌ డస్ మైక్రోసాఫ్ట్ నో ఇట్? ఏ పబ్లిక్ లోడ్ బ్యాలెన్సర్ map the public IP address and port number, of incoming traffic to the private IP address and port number of the VM, and the port number of the VM, and vice versa for the response traffic from the virtual machine. Okay, this is the public load balancer. I mean to say internet load balancer. Then what do you mean? What is the internal load balancer? Public IP. This is your VNet virtual network. As your load balancer. I am not going to with the symbol again, just I am writing will be. Okay. And the multiple virtual machines. Distributed into the F0 and the same.
ఇప్పుడు ఈమెయిల్ ఐడి కొత్తగా ఒక అబ్బాయి జాయిన్ అయింది. ఈమెయిల్ ఐడి మనం ఆన్ ప్రెమిసెస్లో వాళ్ళకి ఈమెయిల్ ఐడి జనరేట్ చేస్తాం. అది అజూర్లో అది ఏ కాన్సెప్ట్
చెప్తాను, ఇదేమని చెప్తాను. దట్ ఈస్ ద డిఫరెంట్.
అది చెప్పలేదు.
అది కాన్సెప్ట్ రాలేదు ఇంకా, డిస్కస్ లేటర్. What is the port for SQL? 1433. This is internet load balancer. This is very simple. The traffic which is coming from the public IP, which is distributed to your application, then it is internally distributed to the SQL databases. Why it is calling as internal? The internal load balancer is nothing but which is using the private IP addresses. Why? Because your databases always it does not expose into the public. Why? Because data is organization specific. That could be the reason your databases always within the organization limits, which does not expose to the public. I mean to say, by default ga ivi private IPs, public IPs undavu vitiki. That could be the reason the internally distributing the load between the SQL databases using the private IPs called as a internal load balance.
అంటే VMకి పబ్లిక్ ఉంటుంది. ఇప్పుడు అప్లికేషన్కి ఏమైపీ అడ్రస్?
అప్లికేషన్ కూడా ఏ పబ్లిక్ ఐపీ అడ్రస్ ఉండదు, ప్రైవేట్ ఐపీ అడ్రస్ ఏ ఉంటుంది. వెన్ యూ క్రియేట్ యువర్ Azure load balancer, Azure load balancer has the public IP which is coming from the request. ఆ పబ్లిక్ ఐపీనే VM అప్లికేషన్ కి ఉంటుంది. అదే మీకు ఒకసారి ప్రాక్టికల్ గా చేస్తే యూ విల్ గెట్ ఎన్ ఐడియా అబౌట్ ఇట్. విల్ సీ ఇన్ ద నెక్స్ట్ కమింగ్ క్లాస్. సో ఫర్ యువర్ క్వశ్చన్, సో ఆన్ ప్రెమిసెస్ ఏడీని మన క్లౌడ్ తీసుకోవాలంటే ద యూజర్స్, where do you have store all the users? In the AD for the authentication and authorization purpose. So if you would like to bring on-premises user to the cloud, we have a concept called AD Connect, AD Sync tool. We continuously sync from on-premises to the cloud, cloud to on-premises.
AD is Active Directory.
అజూర్లో టూల్లో యూస్ చేయాలి ఆటో సింక్, అదే సింక్ అనేది.
ఆ ఏడి సింక్ అనేది అజూర్కి సంబంధించి అజూర్ సంబంధించింది.
అక్కడ లోపల ఫీచర్ ఉంటుంది.
దాన్ని ఐ విల్ షో యూ. మనం ఏడికి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు ఐ విల్ షో. Clear? Very simple. Now assume that this part is in on-premises. ఈ పార్ట్ ఆన్ ప్రెమిసెస్ లో ఉందనుకోండి. యూ కెన్ యూజ్ దిస్ internal load balancer. You can manage the traffic between your application and DB as part of hybrid scenario. Very simple. Clear? So this is how the load balancer works. Public and private. Clear? Any questions so far? Last one. An internal load balancer. An internal load balancer directs the traffic or distribute the traffic only to the resources inside of the virtual network. Why I am referring inside of the only virtual network? Within the VNet only we have the private IPs which is associated with your SQL databases, right? So that could be the reason when you refer internal load balancer, you must associate it with your VNet.
టూ-వే లేయర్ చెప్పారు, టూ లేయర్ కొన్ని దీంట్లో ఇంతకుముందు ఆన్ ప్రెమిసెస్ వెబ్ సర్వర్ సపరేట్ ఉంటుంది,
ఆబ్వియస్లీ అది చెప్తాను.
మీరు టూ-వే చెప్పారు, అందులోనే వెబ్ సర్వర్లోనే అప్లికేషన్ సర్వర్,
దాన్ని వీడు కాలేజ్ monolithic application. So nowadays no one using the monolithic, just we are using this separation parts. We'll see that. Okay, so inside the virtual network that use a VPN across the infrastructure. So clear so far? So real time lo ela untundante, so have you ever heard the terminology called entire architecture? No one is using a monolithic, everyone is referring to design their application into the entire architecture. Idi load balancer ki sambandham ledu. For your real time experience, how those applications work, how the applications will be deployed. Clear so far? Clear kada? That is
హలో అన్న, ఇప్పుడు నార్మల్ గా లోడ్ బ్యాలెన్సర్ హైబ్రిడ్ క్లౌడ్ కి హెల్ప్ చేస్తుంది అన్నారు కదా.
yes.
ఈ ప్రాసెస్ లో మనకి ఆన్ ప్రెమిడ్ లో అంటే క్లౌడ్ లో ఉన్న అప్లికేషన్, హైబ్రిడ్ క్లౌడ్ లో మెయిన్ కాన్సెప్ట్ ఏంటి, మనకున్న డేటా కొంచెం ప్రైవేట్ గా పెట్టుకొని అప్లికేషన్ మాత్రమే క్లౌడ్ ని వర్క్ చేసే విధంగా చేసుకోవడం.
Exactly.
ఇట్ కమ్స్ టు లోడ్ బ్యాలెన్సర్, అప్లికేషన్ ఆన్ క్లౌడ్ మీద, పబ్లిక్ నెట్వర్క్ లో ఉండే క్లౌడ్ మీద ఉన్న అప్లికేషన్ ఫాస్ట్ గా రన్ అయినప్పుడు మనకు ఆన్ ప్రెమ్ లో ఉన్న డేటాబేస్ ఏమైనా ఎఫెక్ట్ అవుతుంది అంటే కెన్ ఇట్ రీచ్ టు ద స్పీడ్ ఆఫ్ క్లౌడ్?
Yes, obviously. So such a way you have to design your network using the express route.
Okay.
So I express route మనం configure చేసుకుంటే you never face an issue. So why this hybrid scenario? ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఏదో let's take an banking or insurance, they don't believe over the cloud much. వాళ్ళు ఎలా ఉంటారంటే they still to refer to use the legacy applications, legacy tools వాళ్ళు అవే వాడతారు. Still మీరు ఏదైనా బ్యాంకింగ్ క్లయింట్ కానీ లేకుంటే ఇన్సూరెన్స్ వెళ్తే స్టిల్ దే డు యూజ్ ద మెయిన్ ఫ్రేమ్స్ అనేది 1980s టర్మినాలజీ విచ్ ఇంట్రడ్యూస్డ్ బై ద IBM. స్టిల్ వాళ్ళు అదే ఫాలో అవుతారు, ఎందుకంటే దే డోంట్ వాంట్ అప్గ్రేడ్. సో ఎందుకంటే దెర్ ఆర్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ సినారియోస్, వాళ్ళు అలానే ఉండిపోతారు. సో నౌడేస్ ద ట్రెండ్ ఇస్ స్లోలీ చేంజింగ్. సో వెన్ యూ coming to the cloud, so they don't believe much on that. So appudu em chestaru, so we don't put our data over the cloud, we want to secure our data, we would like to secure our data. How do you secure our data? To organize the data within the infrastructure called as a private cloud, which does not expose it to the public. Okay, so they would like to spin off their machines, they would like to host their applications over the cloud, still their on-premises they do carry the data. So when you hit the application, that obviously goes to hit your DB in the on-premises. ఇలాంటి సినారియోస్ లోనే మనకి హైబ్రిడ్ సినారియోస్ హెల్ప్ అవుతాయి. So it doesn't mean that me infra on the cloud, if it is taken a startup company, if your entire databases and entire applications hosted on a cloud only, there is no point of having this hybrid scenario. Very rare scenarios lo ilantivi kuda untayi,
కాస్ట్ ఎక్కువ.
exactly. Clear? So coming to the real time architecture behavior, let's assume that okay, I'm designing it. Let's take an example. Customer given the requirement to design a architecture me. I'm designing it. Thus you tell me why I am doing all these things. I don't tell you. Okay, నేనేమి మీకు చెప్పను. I am designing it as a real time scenario. Just you tell me. That is a VNet. VNet కంటే ముందు ఏముండాలి? Resource group. Okay, VNet. VNet లో ఏముంటాయి? Subnets. Okay. Front-end subnet is nothing but a web subnet. Okay. So why I decided? Very simple and straightforward question. Why do I need to have multiple subnets? Forget about it. It's a very simple question. Recent past. 12 years experience on cognizant or architect adigina question. Might be think it is a very silly question. But ఎందుకు నేను సబ్నెట్స్ డివైడ్ చేయాల్సి వచ్చింది? Why do I need to divide my network into the multiple subnets? Very simple question. Performance ఏం సంబంధం? నువ్వు సబ్నెట్ డివైడ్ చేస్తే పర్ఫార్మెన్స్ పెరుగుతుందా? Why?
Different domains, so you cannot access okay domain.
Same domain. Domain సంబంధం
Front end and back end.
Hmm.
Front end personal is back end access.
You can restrict from the user level. నేను యూజర్ లెవెల్లోనే బ్లాక్ చేస్తాను అతన్ని. We have role-based access control, RBACs. I can restrict them in the role-based access control only to particular access, particular VM, particular DB, particular application. Then why do I need to give it?
To divert the traffic to different applications.
Different application.
Application are VMs.
So I will put all the applications in one subnet only. So why do I need to again subdivide my subnets when it is in say all applications within the same subnet? నువ్వు ఒకే సబ్నెట్ లో పెట్టవచ్చు కదా.
For security purpose.
Sorry?
Security purpose.
Okay, security, yes. What kind of a security?
To avoid some external configurations.
So I do accept the security part. Okay. See, very simple. ఇప్పుడే చెప్పాను నేను. Your databases should be never exposed to the public. Whereas applications, ఇప్పుడు నాకు ఒకటే సబ్నెట్ ఉంది, డేటాబేస్ లో అప్లికేషన్ నేను ఒకటే సబ్నెట్ లో పెడితే ఏమవుతుంది? Even your database should be also exposed to the internet. అప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది?
Application also you are hiding that. Only web server.
Exactly. So my front end, I mean to say my web subnet only exposed to the internet. Rest of application and database never exposed to the internet. That could be the reason I am breaking my network into the multiple pieces as a subnet. అర్థమవుతుందా? ఇంతకుముందు ఉండేది లేటెస్ట్ కాలేజ్ మోనోలిథిక్ అప్లికేషన్ అంటే ఒకే సబ్నెట్ ఒకే నెట్వర్క్ లోనే డేటాబేస్లు అప్లికేషన్స్ నీ ఫైల్ సర్వర్స్ అన్ని ఒకే చోట ఉండేవి. అప్పుడు ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటి? డ్యూ టు సెక్యూరిటీ ఇష్యూస్ మీకు డేటా హ్యాక్ అయ్యేది, అప్లికేషన్ హ్యాక్ అయ్యేది, అన్ని హ్యాక్ అయ్యేటివి. Now what I am doing, that could be the reason, using the CIDR range, I am dividing my network into the multiple pieces of the subnet to never expose. ఈ మీరు ఏ కంపెనీకి అయినా వెళ్ళండి, ఏ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ డిజైనింగ్ అయినా తీసుకోండి, ఓన్లీ ఎంటైర్ అంటారు వాటిని, ఎంటైర్ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్. దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఎంటైర్ మల్టిపుల్ లేయర్స్. ఓకే, సో ఇది మాత్రమే పబ్లిక్ లో ఉంటుంది. రెస్ట్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ అప్లికేషన్ కోడ్, అప్లికేషన్ సబ్నెట్ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ ద కోడ్ విచ్ యూ హ్యావ్ రిటర్న్ ఫర్ యువర్ అప్లికేషన్ కాలేజ్ అప్లికేషన్ లేయర్. This is the DB layer. The database and application should be within the internal of our network, which does not expose it to the public. But application should be exposed to the public. మీరు అమెజాన్ అప్లికేషన్ తీసుకుని మీ లోపల పెట్టుకుంటే ఏం యూజ్ ఉంది దానికి? ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ, దట్ షుడ్ బి యాక్సెస్ బై ద ఎండ్ యూజర్ అక్రాస్ ద వరల్డ్. సో హౌ డు యూ ప్రొటెక్ట్? యూజింగ్ ద DMZ, demilitarized zones. అంటే మనం పబ్లిక్ లో ఉన్నప్పుడు దాన్ని ప్రొటెక్ట్ చేసుకోవాలి కదా. ఓకే, సో the web, the traffic goes to your ఫస్ట్ ఎక్కడికి వెళ్తుంది?
రిసోర్స్ గ్రూప్ మోడల్ వచ్చి అబ్జర్వ్ మాత్రమే మామూలుగా
that goes and hit your load balancer. The load balancer hit with your
.NET code.
application subnet is nothing but the code which you return, whether you use Java, .NET, C#, Python, Ruby and Rails, whatever it may be. The data which you have written, the code which you return, you used to put under this application subnet. Coming to the database, whether you use SQL, Oracle, MySQL, whatever it may be, you are dividing your application into the pieces. Okay, so then it goes to the, దీన్ని మనం ఏమంటాం, పబ్లిక్ లోడ్ బ్యాలెన్సర్, then connected to your DB as a internal load balancer. ఇది రియల్ టైమ్ లో ఇలా ఉంటాయి.
ఇక్కడ మనం టూ ఇంటర్నల్ లోడ్ బ్యాలెన్సర్
ఎన్ నెంబర్ మీరు ఎలాగైనా కాన్ఫిగర్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. దిస్ ఇస్ ద వెరీ బేసిక్ పార్ట్. ఓకే, సో ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఎవరు అడిగినా కూడా యూ మస్ట్ టెల్ దట్ ఇట్స్ ఎంటైర్ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ ఓన్లీ. దెర్ ఇస్ నో మోనోలిథిక్ విచ్ ఇస్ నాట్ అట్ ఆల్ రికమెండెడ్. Clear? So Monday we will test the load balancer, how it works, how to configure, we will test it. Clear? అర్థమైంది ఇప్పటి వరకు? ఇది వెరీ 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 ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఇది లేకుండా ఈ ఆర్గనైజేషన్ వర్క్ అవ్వదు. క్లియర్? ఎనీ క్వశ్చన్స్? సో మీకు కొన్ని రియల్ టైమ్ డిజైన్స్ చూపిస్తాను విచ్ ఐ హ్యావ్ ఇంప్లిమెంటెడ్ ఫర్ మై కస్టమర్స్. సో ఆల్మోస్ట్ సిమిలర్ గానే ఉంటుంది, బట్ అంటే కొంచెం కాంప్లికేటెడ్ గా ఉంటుంది. నాట్ ఓన్లీ సింపుల్, ఇట్ ఈస్ ద వెరీ సింపుల్ వన్. సో మీకు కొంచెం గోయింగ్ ఫార్వర్డ్, వన్స్ యూ అండర్స్టాండ్ ఆల్ ద కాన్సెప్ట్, ఐ విల్ షో యూ ఆల్ దిస్ డయాగ్రామ్స్, ఆల్ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ డిజైన్.
హలో
యా
అన్న, ఇక్కడ వ్యాప్ అది లేయర్స్ ఎక్కడ వాడతాం ఇక్కడ?
సారీ, అర్థం అవ్వలేదు. దేని గురించి అంటున్నారు?
లేయర్ 7 లేయర్
నెక్స్ట్ లేయర్ 7 is a kind of yes. వస్తున్నాను. So that is the next class we will discuss. That is the next. So again I told multiple వస్తున్నాను. So as I told earlier, we have multiple load balancers. Within load balancers are multiple types. See, assume it. This is the again data center specific. Let's assume that we have primary and secondary data center. If primary data center goes down, how do you manage your application access again? ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఈ నార్మల్ లోడ్ బ్యాలెన్సర్ యూజ్ చేశారు. దిస్ ఇస్ ద నార్మల్ లోడ్ బ్యాలెన్సర్. సో ఇఫ్ దిస్ డౌన్, ద ఎంటైర్ primary data center down, that's it collapse. So that could be the reason native load balancer అంటే ఇప్పుడు మనం చూసింది application gateway. These are the 3 types of load balancers. Total 3 types. ఈ లోడ్ బ్యాలెన్సర్ ఎక్కడ వర్క్ అవుతుంది? వస్తున్నాను 2 minutes. వస్తున్నాను. On which layer it is working? Layer 4. Application gateway. Layer 7.
Layer 7.
Traffic manager. DNS. ఈ మూడు load balancer layer. Once we done with this, in the next class we are going to talk about layer 7 load balancer, how it works. అంటే directly it goes and hit your application without going for the load balancer as a layer 4. That is the application gateway. అది next coming classes లో వస్తుంది. Clear? Okay na?
Okay.
So layer 7 application gateway is the more capable. Okay, that is highly expensive as well. So we'll talk about later. Adi chala important kuda. We'll talk about later. So with layer 7 lo load balancer unna, you must have normal load balancer. అర్థమవుతుందా? So on Monday we will implement this load balancer and we will test it how it is working. Clear so far? Any questions? Don't have, we'll wrap it up. We'll see you on Monday. Thank you.